So if you want to, if you capture this video, this QR code, it will link to this presentation. And in this presentation, there's a bunch of links so that you can go down some other rabbit holes. Some people have to go down rabbit holes. So anyway, or you can use it to follow along the presentation. Either way. I don't do paper. I'm a paper phobe. There's no paper in my office at all, except for licenses, which is a requirement by the Real Estate Division. And they had a new rule that allowed us to tuck those away. So now there's no paper at all in my office. All right, so this is just to give you a little bit of background on me. I've got, I'm a broker, and I've been doing this. I've been managing properties for almost 30 years. In Vegas for about 20 years. So we manage close to 350 doors, and of those 350 doors, we manage about 20 short-term and mid-term licenses. I'm also the president of the local short-term Nevada Vacation Rental Professionals, I think is the name of it. And what we do is we meet every month, and we go about and we complain about the government. So I'm very familiar with what the rules are. I've done licensing for some of my clients. Of course, I'm licensing some of my properties. And the whole purpose of this presentation is so that when owners call you, you can sound like an expert. So that's the whole purpose of this thing, so that you'll be educated. All right. Oh, I got this thing backwards. Sorry. All right. So I showed you the last slide first. Sorry about that. I've also written a couple of books on property management. So Audrey, if you change your mind, I'll teach you how to do it without having to lose your mind. Okay, so I think it's important that you have a frame of reference, because when investors call you, they heard something that was true 3 years ago. So it's important that you understand how this whole thing evolved. And Pete will remember the good old years, the Verbo years, before 2017. Verbo was essentially the only folks in town. And I recall, I travel a lot. So I recall myself using Verbo in 2010, 2012. And the problem with Verbo is they had a terrible feedback system. In other words, you would call the owner or email the owner, hey, I want to book your rental for this date, and they wouldn't even respond, right? So, or you'd show up and they'd like, who are you, right? So the reason why Airbnb cleaned their clock was because Airbnb came up with a system for feedback. That's the bottom line. Airbnb killed them because they created a system where guests are reviewed and owners are reviewed. And that's why Verbo got their clock clean. In 2017, Airbnb started becoming more prevalent, and we call those the party years. So between 2017 and 2021, and COVID especially, you had all these people coming from California who did not have to show up for work, and the government gave them a bunch of money. And it was insanity. We had people showing up, partying all the time. And what happened is a lot of the neighbors got really upset, and righteously so, right? They wake up with beer cans and condoms in their front yard and going, what's the deal? So they complained to the government and said, hey, we've got to put an end to this. There's also rumor, or there could be some truth in the casinos putting some effort